I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. Fifth player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the fourth round. A quarterback that's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion. The NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks. Clueless. All that, no idea what they're doing in terms of evaluating quarterbacks. That's proof. There's proof of that.
How many
times we know exactly what we're talking about with quarterbacks? They don't.
ESPN's Mel Kiper just went nuclear on the Cleveland Browns, like, full meltdown mode. He basically said the franchise isn't just losing games, they're losing their minds. And the biggest victim in this chaos? Shedeur Sanders. The poor guy walked into Cleveland's locker room and probably thought he entered a sitcom directed by chaos itself. How do you destroy a generational talent before he even starts? Oh, the Browns are giving us a masterclass.
Head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, had to say in the media day availability right after practice. Let's take a listen.
I thought they did a really nice job over these last few days of looking at everything we're doing offensively, defensively, special teams. So we've identified a lot of things that we want to do better, a lot of areas where we feel like we can improve, areas where we feel like we can adapt, and that's where having this after 8 games is important, where you can learn a lot from yourself and then get ready for a 9-game season, obviously.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. It's one thing to lose games. It's another to lose your entire sense of direction. But when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, losing seems less like an accident and more like a lifestyle choice. Some teams rebuild. Some teams reload. The Browns? They reinvent disappointment every season like it's an art form.
This is not the first time that Mel Kiper has gone viral for his takes and thoughts about the NFL draft. He's been doing this as long as anybody. He practically invented the NFL draft with his enthusiastic draft coverage, but we have never seen anything close to this with his consistent remarks about Shedeur throughout. It's okay to be wrong. When you're in sports and you give takes, you can be wrong. It's just a matter of when to let it go, and he continued to pour in, and Reese Davis at one point stepped in to try and destroy the narrative that Mel was built.
And apparently, ESPN's Mel Kiper has finally had enough. The man built a career on draft grades and player evaluations, but this time, it wasn't just another take. It was a public execution of logic, patience, and whatever hope Browns fans had left. He looked at the franchise and basically asked the same question the entire football world's been asking for decades: what on earth are you doing?
Why not let Shedeur get a series then? Heck, let him play in some NFL action. You moved him up to 2 on the depth chart. There's a couple minutes left. Game's over. Why not let him get out there and get his feet wet a little bit in the NFL in a setting that doesn't matter as much, just like he did in preseason? Made no sense to me. ESPN Cleveland looked at this and said, well, maybe that's why the Browns didn't put in Shedeur. They didn't want to start a quarterback controversy, right? You put in Shedeur at the end, he goes and scores a touchdown, and all of a sudden everyone's going to scream that he should be the starting quarterback. So what?
Because somehow, someway, the Browns found a way to take Shedeur Sanders, one of the brightest young quarterback prospects in years, and turn his landing spot into a potential cautionary tale. It's like watching someone buy a brand new Ferrari and immediately drive it straight into a lake.
Mel Kiper is the latest to go at and destroy the Cleveland Browns organization over this whole quarterback situation when it comes to Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Now, we all know who Mel Kiper is, well respected in the sports of football. Mel Kiper's big board, his draft board, he gives you great breakdown on players, and he said some things about the Cleveland Browns organization.
The Browns have this supernatural gift. Give them something beautiful, something promising, something filled with potential, and they'll find the quickest route to turn it into chaos. Every time. Now, let's not pretend Shedeur Sanders doesn't come with expectations. He's not just another college star trying to make it. He's the son of prime time himself. The name alone carries pressure. But the talent? It's real. Arm strength, accuracy, composure, everything about him screams future franchise quarterback. Except, of course, for the small problem that he's now in Cleveland. He pointed at everything wrong with how the organization treats its quarterbacks. The instability, the revolving door of coordinators, the obsession with short-term fixes that never actually fix anything. Cleveland doesn't develop quarterbacks, they test their emotional endurance. For most teams, the offseason is about strategy. For the Browns, it's about survival. Every year, there's a new plan, a new vision, and a new scapegoat when it all falls apart. This time, it feels like
1999. I mentioned the quarterbacks, they've had busts galore, right? But they had one they hit on. When you hit on a quarterback, and you know in that building, and on that field, you got the right guy, who's a leader, the players rally around, and you let him go, and you cut him loose, shame on you. So again, that's again speaks to where we are right now. You mentioned 2 first-round picks. They have their own, which is going to be high, and they have Jacksonville's pick as well. They got work to do. And again, figure out Dylan Gabriel. That was Kevin Stefanski's guy. Shedeur Sanders, Andrew Barry brought in because he was there in the 5th round, and we took him, see what happens. I'm not ready just because the league doesn't speak. I don't care what the league says. The league doesn't speak about quarterbacks. They don't know any more than what you and I.
Shedeur Sanders might end up being the next sacrifice on the altar of dysfunction. Imagine being Shedeur. You grow up watching legends, training under one of the most iconic players in football history, and you enter the league ready to build your own legacy. Then you find out. Your new home is the same franchise that once made a quarterback room so toxic, players were practically flipping coins to see who had to start. The Browns keep saying they're building something special. And then comes the coaching staff, a cast of characters that look more like a group therapy session than a football brain trust. Every coordinator promises to unlock potential, but somehow ends up locking it in a closet instead. Shedeur Sanders didn't sign up for this. He came to the league to play football, not to star in another episode of How to Waste Talent in 10 Easy Steps. The irony is that the Browns had a window, a brief, shining moment when it looked like they might finally escape the curse. A strong defense, a solid running game, and a city that actually believed again. But just as quickly as hope appeared, it evaporated. Because Cleveland doesn't rebuild momentum, it repels it.
He's saying that the organization ruins quarterbacks because we've seen everything that he talked about. You look at Baker Mayfield, he's down in Tampa, he's showing out. Cleveland gave up on him. You look at Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco has balled out ever since he's been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Flacco damn near threw for 500 yards today against the Chicago Bears. That was a great game. It came down to the wire, and Chicago pulled it out. But we've seen what Joe Flacco has done ever since he's moved on, from Cleveland. So like he said, one man trash.
The draft was supposed to be the turning point. A chance to build around a quarterback of the future. But instead of preparing for that, the Browns treated the moment like an afterthought. No offensive line reinforcement. No clear offensive identity. No strategic direction that fits the skill set of a dynamic young passer. Just chaos disguised as confidence. Mel Kiper saw through it immediately. You can almost imagine the look on his face, that disappointed glare of someone who spent years trying to give this team the benefit of the doubt, only to realize the doubt was right all along. The organization swears it's committed to winning. But commitment means more than press conferences and hashtags. It means structure. Leadership. A sense of direction that doesn't vanish the moment adversity hits. Unfortunately, Cleveland's version of commitment seems to be committing to chaos. There's this recurring theme in the NFL: talent doesn't matter if the environment destroys it. You can have the best arm, the sharpest mind, the most athletic frame, but if the system around you collapses, you're doomed to fail.
Has completely let the Cleveland Browns organization have it of the way that they're handling quarterback situation when it comes to Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders this year. Now, we've all seen the quarterbacks that came out of Cleveland, and Mel Kiper, he alluded to the situation with all quarterbacks coming out of Cleveland. And basically he's saying that, the Cleveland Browns organization, they destroy quarterbacks.
And that's what scares analysts the most about Shedeur's situation. It's not his skill, it's the dysfunction surrounding it. Every rookie quarterback needs support. He needs a consistent playbook, a reliable offensive line, and coaches who understand how to build confidence. Cleveland provides none of that. Instead, they hand their quarterbacks a laminated, good luck card and a headset full of mixed signals. The Browns' idea of preparation is optimism without a plan. They hype every move, sell every decision as the one, and then spend the next few months explaining why it didn't work. Rinse, repeat, rebuild. And in between, fans suffer. Because no fan base deserves this kind of emotional roller coaster. You can sense the tension already. The expectations. The pressure. The public scrutiny that follows every pass, every decision, every loss. And when Mel Kiper speaks out, it's not because he enjoys being right, it's because he's seen this movie before, and he knows exactly how it ends. The Browns are experts at finding lightning in a bottle, and then leaving the cap off. There's a dark comedy to it all. Cleveland has all the ingredients for greatness: passionate fans, a historic football city, and a front office that somehow manages to make every simple thing complicated. It's almost impressive, the way they can turn progress into parody.
The players are underperforming, the coaches are underperforming, the general manager's underperforming, but as long as the owner is the head circus clown,
which
and,
he is.
and he's P.T. Barnum.
Yep.
He's picking all of these people under him.
Yeah.
This is who he is. This is what the organization is.
And
he's not going to get it right until he walks away and hires people to do it.
Right. And it's not impossible to win with a bad owner, but it's much harder.
I think.
Meanwhile, Shedeur's potential is sitting there, waiting to be nurtured. He's got the poise, the pedigree, the precision, everything that screams future star. But potential means nothing in a system that eats its own. You can see the warning signs already: miscommunications in camp, vague statements from coaches, and that familiar "we're figuring it out" energy that never leads anywhere good. Every NFL franchise has flaws. But Cleveland seem handcrafted. Coaching chaos, inconsistent drafting, locker room drama, it's a trifecta of dysfunction. And yet, every offseason, they promise, this time will be different. They say the culture's changing. The vision's clearer. The leadership stronger. Then, by mid-season, the same chaos returns, like clockwork. You almost have to admire the consistency. They may not win many games, but they never fail to disappoint. For Shedeur Sanders, this is the ultimate test, not of talent, but of endurance. Can he rise above the noise? Can he survive the system long enough to reshape it? Because make no mistake, the league is watching. Everyone knows the kid's potential. Everyone also knows the Browns' reputation. If this ends badly, the blame won't fall on Shedeur, it'll fall squarely on an organization that can't seem to help itself.
So, I don't trust the Cleveland Browns when it comes to their quarterback situation on or off the field. So, they announce on game day that Shedeur has a quote-unquote back injury, yet he did go out to warm up. They watched him warm up and they disqualified him because he's got a back injury. I don't trust it for 1 second. Bailey Zappi has I said it 5 times on the show, he's been the unofficial, unstated backup quarterback all along because Belichick once drafted him in the 4th round as a potential replacement for Tom Brady.
And you can sense the irony brewing. The same analysts who once praised the Browns' rebuild are now asking whether the rebuild itself needs rebuilding. Mel Kiper didn't just criticize. He exposed the pattern. The endless cycle of hype and heartbreak that's defined this team for decades. The Browns aren't cursed, they're just habitually confused. They mistake noise for progress and momentum for leadership. And when things fall apart, they always seem shocked, as if the universe is conspiring against them instead of the consequences of their own decisions. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is stuck in the middle of it all. A young quarterback trying to navigate a storm that's been raging long before he arrived. It's almost poetic, a generational talent, trapped in a generational mess. If Cleveland really wants to turn things around, it's not about another press conference or another reset. It's about doing the one thing they've never done consistently, build stability. The truth that if you keep changing everything, nothing ever changes. It's the same old movie, just with a new cast. The names change, the mistakes don't. You could replace Shedeur Sanders with any other young quarterback and the ending would still be the same.
So Mel, now that you've had time to sort of catch your breath and internalize everything that happened, because your reaction during it was visceral and real, and I understood it completely, and I knew that that's how you were going to react. Now that you've had some time to take it all in, what are your final words on the way that whole thing went down?
I think the team that ended up with Shedeur would find a Shedeur that is all into that team. I think Shedeur just wanted, hey, you have faith in me, you have belief in me. Who's going to have that faith, that belief? And in the draft process, until draft day and your pick, you really don't know. So, Cam Ward got that assurance from Tennessee. Early.
Until Cleveland figures out who it wants to be, it'll keep becoming exactly what everyone expects, a team that almost gets it right, before finding a creative way to mess it up. There's a sad beauty to it. A franchise so desperate for redemption, yet so addicted to dysfunction that it can't stay out of its own way. Mel Kiper's rant wasn't just a critique, it was a eulogy for wasted potential. Because if history's taught us anything, it's that Cleveland doesn't just struggle to win, it struggles to learn. And if that doesn't change soon, Shedeur Sanders might be the next talented name lost to the same story. The NFL loves comeback stories. It loves redemption arcs. It loves seeing the underdog finally rise. Because the talent is there. The opportunity is there. All they need is direction, the one thing they've been missing for decades. It's not too late to fix it. But it's running out of time. And if they don't, Mel Kiper won't need to say another word. The results will do all the talking.
Jimmy and D. Haslam, the owners of the Cleveland Browns, y'all gotta cut it out. Whatever is going on there is becoming too obvious that you're trying to break the kid here, because realistically, he should be in the game already. I know you're trying to try out another quarterback. You're trying to make sure that whatever you do, you get your point across them. It's becoming more and more ridiculous on you guys' part. You're not winning, so it's not like you're not having them on the floor, on the field, because you guys are winning and you're trying to preserve something. At this point, it seems like you're just trying to go as far as you can to get a negative response out of him, and we don't like it.
Every other franchise plays football. The Browns play roulette. And for Shedeur Sanders, that's the real challenge, escaping the cycle long enough to rewrite the narrative. Because if he succeeds, it won't just be a win for him. It'll be a miracle for the entire city. But if the Browns keep doing what they always do, overthinking, overpromising, underdelivering, then history will repeat itself, louder than ever. So here's the real question: how many more times will Cleveland be gifted a generational quarterback before it finally learns how to protect one? The answer, as always, depends on whether the Browns can do something they've never managed to do consistently: get out of their own way. Until then, Mel Kiper's warning stands like a prophecy. Give them a quarterback with all the tools, and they'll hand him a toolkit with no instructions. But what if, this time, Shedeur Sanders is different? What if he's the one who finally breaks the curse, not by relying on the Browns system, but by surviving it? Maybe that's the real test here, not whether he can win games, but whether he can stay sane long enough to change the narrative.